Positioning is a key detail many players leave out when trying to improve their game in Siege. So in this video, I'll be going over the good, the bad, and the ugly in Siege positioning to help you frag easier. Positioning is an aspect of Siege which seems abstract, but has a consistent logic to it which is able to be learned and applied to any situation. Your goal of each engagement is to minimize your exposure to enemy fire while maximizing your chance to engage the enemy. This does not mean hide in a damp dark corner of a room for someone to walk by, blissfully unaware of your location. You want to be able to provide pressure and be reactive while also having it out if the pressure gets too heavy. So let's go over some basic concepts before diving into some examples. First, let's talk about the optimal positioning that varies based on weapon or scope type. If you're approaching a target around a corner, your loadout and lines of sight will determine what path you should take towards your target. Take the push from aquarium into billiards on coastline, for example. There is typically a rotate on the wall into hookah and a defender playing behind half wall in billiards, so you have two angles to worry about, but your decision should be partially affected by the lines of sight and weapon/scope type. Say, for example, you have a hollow or a shotgun, you likely want to push close to the half wall to take out that close defender, then deal with the rest of the defenders, for example, in hookah, vase, or cool blue. Whereas if you have an ACOG, you want to swing wide, creating space between you and the operator behind the half wall. This does put you more in the line of fire from the rotate hole, but it still presents you with a better angle towards the person behind the half wall. This is why a lot of people prefer to play 1x scopes on aggressive operators, as your optimal path to the target can be closer, keeping you out of line of sight of a player playing a covering angle. In this example, couches or close to the rotate in hookah. This shares a point of concern about minimizing the lines of fire you are exposed to. Your goal in each engagement is to make sure you're only ever exposed to one enemy line of fire at a time, attempting to isolate each fight into a 1v1 scenario. But even within those 1v1s, you want to keep your hitbox minimally exposed using hard cover whenever possible, keeping the target the enemy has to hit as small as possible. Now you also want to maintain a position where the enemy team is not aware of your exact location. So if you get a kill from a specific spot, you should be betting on them providing calls of your location to their teammates. If you maintain that same spot, it is likely you're going to get pre-fired, or at least you should be if the enemy team is competent. So once you pick up that kill, you should attempt to reposition to a more optimal spot for the next incoming gunfight. Same goes if the gunfight doesn't end in a kill right away. Don't re-peek the same position. If you do, you're basically betting that the enemy player will be unable to land their shots, and the gamble could swing in their favor once your location is already known to them. In the current clip, after barely getting a kill due to some awful SMG-11 recoil management, I fall back to a tight line into lockers, knowing that he's by himself, not droning, and I have a teammate watching the other door. This angle basically becomes impossible for the attacker to deal with. In this clip, I'm playing as Jaeger and I'm roaming in the control dragon area. I identify the entries are going to be coming from around the dragon window side, and throughout this clip I use my positioning and the lack of enemy droning to confuse and dominate an attacking push. I get this first kill due to simple negligence of the IQ. She didn't drone herself in or have any teammates do it for her. So at this point I have diffuser and control of the round. I get a call that someone is dragging door, and I hear footsteps below me, peek over, and then I get another easy kill. This is when the actual teachable moments begin. I hear someone rappelling onto balcony, and at the same time my teammate dies on arcade stairs. I position myself inside control room, blocking the view of the person who is entering from either office or the dragon window, and keep my crosshair on the initiation just in case the Ash who had killed someone on arcade stairs decides to come up and through the upstairs sites. From this same location, I can also engage anyone coming up dragon stairs, all the while safe from the person who's entering near cache or dragon window. The dragon cam goes down, making it clear that he entered through office, so I maintain my position, waiting for the last enemy location to be known for me. At this point, I hear the last person, Ash, walking up the dragon stairs as he attempts to push me at the last known location. So I minimize my hitbox by going closer to the doorframe. I then easily dispatch Ash by shooting her in the back of the head, and then rotate through initiation to cut off the Zofia on the office side. So I hear the Zofia is still in cache, so I hug close to the office wall and try and play off of the likelihood that Zof is going to peek the common angle, which is close to the hall door, therefore giving me some extra time to get some rounds on her as she has to pie around to get to where I am close to the wall. This will give this extra time maybe the difference between life and death if she did happen to peek this doorway. But she instead rotates back out to balcony and hops in the dragon window, which allows me to push up and again, without any bullets fired my way, clean up the Zofia for an easy kill and an easy 4K. Never at any point in that round was I in danger of being fired on by multiple enemies. Now, this clearly wasn't a good team and their droning was awful, but the point stands that the positioning that I chose allows me to take very easy gunfights and minimize the level of exposure that I was in. So in this clip, you can see the enemy team has been playing super aggressive, and they continue to do so into the attacking round. As you can see, the Amaro yeeted into sight within the first 30 seconds. And the game drops down to a 2v3 very quickly with a teammate holding bar and myself in vault to deny the study door and the red push. Bandit gets picked off, and I rush over to get the refrag as I'm being droned. So I prep for the push directly behind the drone. I decided to use the rotate hold to engage the attacking enemy, and after not finishing the kill, swap the pistol, use the hard vault walls as cover, and then peek back into vault and clear the Habana. This leaves a 1v1, and due to the enemy team rushing, Val cams are still up. With him rotating around, I assume he's going to a safe position to drone me out before attacking, but decide to follow behind him, allowing me to get an easy back of the head shot and a W.
He's on his drone now.
He has the time to push him.
Yeah, he's still on the drone.
And a teabag for good measure, since they were quite toxic in previous rounds. So always be thinking about what the enemy is trying to do when you're about to engage. Come up with a plan that minimizes your exposure while allowing you to get line of sight on your enemies. Relocate when your position is compromised to keep enemies walking into the unknown, and attempt to take each engagement, even 1vx, as single target fights. Apply those concepts to your gunfights, and your success, rank, and KD will all improve because of it. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And as always, my name is Jpeasy. Take it easy.